Hey everyone, so I am using Yarnspirations Granny Square. The recommended hook are 5.5, which is what I have, but I am also using a 5mm hook for some parts of this. On the back of this package does have the pattern for a regular Granny Square, and this is what we will be using. There's a diagram and the written pattern as well. Definitely look at a pattern, you'll be much easier. But for visual help, I am here to follow along. And so starting off, I am doing a slip knot, creating 4 chains and going back on the first chain to slip off to create our first loop, and chain 3 and acting as our first double crochet stitch, and continue with another double crochet and a third one, and this is our cluster. Instead of chaining 3, I am chaining 2 because it's a little bit tighter, and this is after much practice. We will need a total of 4 clusters, so I am doing my second cluster here. While I crochet, I will also be hiding my tail, so I don't need to come back and hide them to cut them. I will just be cutting them as I finish my project, so that makes my life easier at doing the granny squares. Ending off with 2 chains, and we're going to find our first slip stitch, first loop to slip stitch, and close off our first row of pattern. And we're going to continue to our second row of pattern, which is pretty much the same. Go ahead and create your cluster on the edge, and on each corner there will be 2 sets of clusters instead of 1. So go ahead and continue to do clusters. I learned that this ball of yarn is really hard to work with because I feel like I'm doing the right amount of tension, but it just always doesn't come out right at the end. So I always have a little bit of color from the last row into the new row, or the colors coming in from the second row into the first row. So I personally don't mind. That's why it's okay for me to see a little color mix there. But this yarn is kind of hard to work with. Once I'm done with all of my colored rows, this is where I come in with my 5mm hook, because no matter how many times I try to loosen up my tension or tighten my tension, the yarn is not enough. So I am going with a smaller hook just to give myself a little bit more yarn. I am doing a join on the go method for my granny square pattern. As you can see, I have done most of them, but I am here to show you how to attach it at the corner. I have a total of 4 panels on each side with 2 extras. I'll show you later, but this is the L corner is where I'm going to attach my last piece. So I will need to do 2 border, and then attach the rest of the two border onto my piece. So I have finished my two corners, and this is the corner that I will be attaching to my remaining piece. I have only done one cluster and chain one. Now I'm going to find the corner of my last piece and also slip stitch to join the piece and come back and do another cluster. There are definitely a lot more tutorials on how to do join on the go method for a granny square. It might be easier to follow a slower version. I may have gone a little too fast on this. I probably will have to do a separate video on how to join the granny squares on the go in slow motion. Please forgive me. So this is a preview of how my dress will look like. I have 4 pieces from up to down and 5 pieces across. And I have 2 pieces on the bottom, or technically the top. This will be my chest and it will be my halter top. And from here you flip it and you can see the vision. This is where you will attach the side, and the dress has come to life. This is where I'm attaching the slit and then doing a border all around my piece. So we have done the attaching of the tube skirt on the edge, and I also did a edging with a single crochet all around the bottom as well. We did not attach the last square because I want to split on my legs, so this is how it went. I just ended up switching my hook to 3.5 millimeter, and I'm using cotton yarn instead of acrylic. I think it kind of gives a neat finish. So from the top, we're going to do the top only, and then we're going to come back and create something else for our strips. So we're basically doing an edging for the top, but with a bigger hook. I think I'm going for 4.5. 4.5. So it's slightly bigger, but not too big. And I think I'm gonna start from here. Chain 2. We're going to do half double crochets. Half. So after finishing the top, this is what it looks like. It's decent. And so using the same hook, 4.5, we're going to do our straps. So my vision of the strap will be coming from up here, going down and around on the top. So let me see if I can draw it for you. So this is our 2 squares, and then this is the bottom. This is my square. So we're going to do the strap all around and going up, and so the same thing on this side. This is the strap around it. So go ahead and measure how long you would like your strap to be. This is going to be right at your chest area, so definitely measure as you go. I did not measure, so I'm just going to freehand the length and go ahead and do the same thing, and I will be back to show you how I attach it after I decide my strap. On the strap, we're going to do double crochet straps. So what I'm going to do is using the chain as you go method to make my strap. Because I'm impatient with chains, so I'm going to do chain as you go. I'm sorry, it's actually called the double crochet foundation chain. So yarn over, you find your loop, create your chain, and then do your double crochet. Create your chain first and then double crochet. So we have a slightly thicker strap than our top. As you can see, it's coming along, and this is the pattern that I'm going to use. And coming late, I'll come back to attach it to my piece, starting from here, going down. So this is the next day. I have finished my chain, and this is about 36 inches long unstretched. If you stretch it out, it's probably gonna be around 38. I am here trying to attach it back, attach it onto the side. So this will be coming from here. The attachment will be like this. Oh, sorry. Like this. So as I'm going in here, I'm also going in here. Turn my work around. I know it would be super confusing from this point, or just the attachment part. So you yarn over the first project and then yarn over on your second one as normal, and then we're going to yarn over as our double crochet instead of creating the loop, because there is already a loop right here. So next, I'm sure it might work correctly. Oh no, I did the opposite, my bad. So let's do it again. Yarn over to go in the loop of the chain, and then yarn over from the bottom of our project, yarn over to go to attach the project
yarn over our chain, and then we're not creating any extra chain stitch, and we're just attaching as a double crochet. So turn our work around, yarn over, and we're just doing double crochets instead of doing a chain, because we already have our foundation chains. It looks like it's a little loose. I think I'm going to create two in this one instead of just one, so it could look a little bit more full. And then now we have our chain base. We're just going to yarn over and do our double crochets in every stitch.
In this chain space here, I would recommend to do 2 double crochets or 3 double crochets just to make it fuller, but definitely go by how many stitches you have. And this is the same pattern all around the border of our top, and we will be continuing to do the remaining of the straps.
I just realized I probably should show you how I did my strap going out, because you will not longer have your base foundation. So we're going to yarn over the last chain space that you did for your double crochet. We're going to go in the same space, and this is where we're gonna do our chain double crochet, where you create your chain and then your double crochet. So it's actually pretty easy. That's all you need to do, as long as you know your chain foundation chain, double crochet foundation chain, then you're good to go. So that's how we come out of the edge and continuing your strap. So just remember, on your last double crochet stitch, go ahead and insert in the same space to create your chain to continue on with your strap. We are almost there.
And so we are done from here. This is the vision. This is the finished product. I love the long straps, and you can see the halter top from the top. And I had to add a strap in the back just to tighten it and show our curves. But thank you for watching. Here's a little